are back with another dinosaur reaction video today. This one having to do with a little theory about the D-Rex. So let me just ask you the question that's basically the title. Can the D-Rex survive against every Jurassic dinosaur? That would mean anybody from Indominus Rex, Indoraptor, all the way down to like the Jurassic Park movies from a long time ago. Do you think anybody, any dinosaur can defeat the D-Rex? Let's go see. The video is gonna be by my boy Goji Center. Big shout out to them. Make sure to go check them out and let's get to it.
D-Rex, a malformed
The D-Rex,
unlike anything the franchise has ever seen before on screen.
That's
this
facts.
Summer showed us one of the most dangerous entities to ever exist in the world, dreamt by Michael Crichton. But how would the franchise's past contend with the...
Oh, by the way, I gotta go ahead and say it. My favorite dinosaur of all time, the Spinosaurus. I feel like he could have done a little bit more in Jurassic Park 3, but him and the D-Rex were the only ones ever in the Jurassic movies to survive, right? I'm pretty sure they were the only antagonist dinosaurs that were able to survive and go on. So we'll see. Can the Spino defeat the D-Rex? Probably not, but like we can hope.
This newest nightmare. On
We can all hope. I don't know.
Goji Center, we look at all 6 previous installments of the Jurassic franchise to see which might be able
so we're
to
just doing
stop an
Jurassic.
invasion by this
The
doomsday
6.
mutant.
Okay, I
See
got
if
you.
something might survive and which might go extinct.
Giganotosaurus
D-Rex versus the Jurassic Saga. Now,
I like
we
that.
may see some more action out of the Distorted King in future outings of the franchise. After all, it has joined the rare club of Jurassic antagonists like the JP3 Spino to survive its introduction film.
That's right.
Future installments and games might give...
And you did hear him, by the way, right? The introduction film, meaning that I think we're going to see more of the D-Rex. I don't know why they would have ended it and barely shown the D-Rex to have him, kind of just drift away. I feel like the D-Rex will be shown more in Jurassic movies in the future. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Showings of its combative abilities. We're waiting, Evolution 3. For now, though,
Jurassic World Evolution 3. Can't wait.
As well as what is on
He's got to be
screen
in the
to
game,
try
right?
and judge if the D-Rex is a
Gotta be.
warrior or a wimp. Watch the prior videos for more context, but to give you the short rundown, the D-Rex seems to be a heavily
I like that D-Rex subscribe button down there.
In the Hawk's genes and or other additives, making it reach the size and shape it is. And size is definitely its best asset.
That's facts.
At over
That's
8
a big
meters
fella.
or 26 feet tall, it towers over every other on-screen carnivore in the franchise.
Yeah.
The runner-up, the Biosyn Giganotosaurus, and the Spino by the time of Camp Cretaceous can only approach that high when rearing up as tall as they can in an awkward stance.
I think the
Its
Spino has a chance.
jaws are still mostly intact from the suspected Tyrannosaurus base, and even if there might be some deformities involved weakening them, sheer size would help make up for any loss in force, with crunching power potentially between 50 to 80% strong.
See, this is what I wanted to see right here. This fight would have been very cool to see. I'm pretty sure this is the rebirth T-Rex, right? The rebirth T-Rex was absolutely huge compared to the people in the boat in the river scene. So, like, compared to the D-Rex, we didn't really get to see them side by side, but I would have loved to see that, even if they didn't fight, even if it was just a quick side by side.
Tyrannosaurus. As a hexapod,
I don't know.
A creature with 6 limbs, the D-Rex probably can't get much out of using its smaller
Yeah, them ain't doing
arms,
nothing.
aside from clutching very close objects. Its bigger set of limbs, though, which
Maybe an
seems to
occasional
combine
stab.
features of Tyrannosaurus arms and legs, could, however, make for dangerous tools. It may not be the most capable big-armed combatant, lacking the mobility and
Big fella.
dexterity of an ape, but it can still clutch and grab enough to pull something close for a bite or
You'd
slam
have to
them into
destroy the
ground.
Spino like that.
With each arm weighing several tons, just the bludgeoning force alone might be plenty lethal.
I needed to see that.
Weight-wise, the Jurassic franchise again has a time-honored tradition of not making the most sense. Some listings give the D-Rex
That's
a
true.
fairly plausible mass north of 17 to 22 tons.
That's very
which
heavy.
is light, but makes some sense for something
Light is
that
crazy.
big. It even matches up
Light
to
for
some
something
of our
that big, I
pre-release
guess.
estimates. It also loosely matches remarks about it being twice the size of a typical T-Rex. Others, however, confusingly only put it at about 10 to 11 tons. Still bigger than most theropods in the franchise.
They're
and
right.
Not as egregious as something else in the movie.
Oh
but
my!
extremely low for its
Titanosaurus is
size.
insane.
The D-Rex probably isn't the most agile creature, relying mostly on stealth and force rather than nimble footwork and speed. But if it can get within range and grab or bite, that might be a deadly combination for almost any other land animals in the franchise.
Speaking of getting close and in range, do you think these little hands would do anything? Like, I mean, I know some of the, the nails are pretty sharp, right? I mean, could he just like do some stabs or something like that? It was a fast pace. I don't really know. I don't know what these would serve as a purpose. Let me know if you know.
Distortus was, after all,
I mean, you can see the nails.
among the most dangerous creatures on the abandoned island. It truly may be among the most
You know?
dangerous animals in the franchise, especially on its home island. But what about all the other islands of death seen in the other movies? Time to drop this upcoming terror into the past during
Let's
the
go.
events of each prior film and assess what might be able to stand their ground.
I want to see
against
what they
this
say about the
mutation.
JP3 one.
Number 1, Jurassic Park. Strange as it is to say, Isla Nublar was probably at the safest it had ever potentially been in the franchise back in 1993. The island had only recently been populated by
So
dinosaurs
beautiful.
hatched on
I need to watch that
Sorna,
movie again.
And Hammond's Park held significantly fewer creatures than Masrani's would decades later. Rexy was young and quick at the time, having just recently reached her adult size.
Look at
While she
Rexy.
definitely would have been much more nimble and
Thriving.
agile than her mutated adversary, she was also at her smallest we had seen her on screen. At about 37 feet long and 6 to 7 tons, Nublar's queen would have been dwarfed by her own future self and look positively tiny fighting on her
See,
own
look at that
against
size
this
comparison.
menace. She'd likely be able to get some hits
Oh,
in and
no.
easily outrun the mutant if she needed to get some space between them, but a prolonged battle in a one-on-one confrontation
she's cooked.
could spell doom. An unlikely team-up with the debatably canon Alpha Triceratops from the Telltale game, Lady Margaret, might help even
The
odds
Telltale
some.
game? What is this?
Rexy had later shown she could exploit a chance assist from a cantankerous herbivore attacking the same target. But if either Queen or Matriarch took a critical hit, it would be curtains. It should be noted that
Curtains.
if the D-Rex is given the lighter weight estimates of about 10 to 11 tons, the mass and strength difference
I'm gonna be real, I still think he
closes
wins
by
that.
a lot. A lighter D-Rex would be a lot easier to topple, and once floored by a charging Margaret, Rexy has a much better chance to do some damage.
Potentially.
With only 3 adult raptors on the island, and them not exactly being team players, just about the only thing left that might be able to do something would be any one of the island Brachiosaurus. Between 50 to 70 tons, realistically one of these things might be capable of crushing the mutant by just trampling into it during a battle of titans. Unfortunately, a lot of the sauropods
I don't
in this
mind that.
franchise tends to not have the best combative ability.
Yeah, they ain't
In the
about to
end,
fight.
It might just be best for anything on 90s Nublar to treat the D-Rex like how the people treated them.
And I'm pretty sure in the game that this is a game right here, Jurassic World Evolution 2 that you see in the background. I don't even think any of the long neck dinosaurs even fight. So like, I don't know how they would do in real life or in an animation or anything, but like in the game at least, you'll never see them fight. I don't think. I've never seen it.
Number 2.
We make a lot of
the
videos
Lost
with 'em.
World. Traveling forward and outward to Isla Sorna, and the D-Rex comes up against a greater challenge. Site B was positively brimming with dinosaurs at the time, with
There was a lot.
substantially more individuals from every
Patchy.
species seen on Nublar. The striped raptor pack seen in the tall grass and worker village might actually be able to pose a threat to the Goliath mutant thanks to sheer numbers. And considering the huge skeletons seen
Possibly.
near the village, they may not be unaccustomed to
You see how the
climbing up and
D-Rex,
cutting
you see how the D-Rex just did not care, by the way? I've never been able to get the Raptors to fight the D-Rex in this game. I don't know what it's been. Look at this man. He just doesn't care. He barely moved his head.
actually
Watch
be
him.
able to pose
He
a
was just
threat
like,
to the Goliath mutant thanks to sheer numbers.
He's
And
not even trying to
considering
fight
the
him off.
huge skeletons
He's like a
seen
fly.
near the village, they may not be unaccustomed to climbing up and cutting big beasts down to their level. One
He's taking
major
some
problem,
damage.
though, with this pack is its own chaos. Highly aggressive towards even their own kind. if
Yeah,
their
they are
fellow
kinda
raptors
insane.
get in their way. This pack sometimes attacks with less coordinated social hunting and more chaotic mob behavior. And with the D-Rex having numerous weapons and sheer size to fight back with, casualties might start mounting quickly. Plucking off raptors with its forearms, biting them to crush them instantly, or swatting them with sweeping blows of its big arms.
Yeah, D-Rex
An
wins
attempted
that.
pack
I mean-
attack might go south quickly, and the raptors might run away to come back and make a meal of their dead kin instead of pick a fight
Yeah,
with the
so we've
mutant
had the
again.
first Jurassic
The
Park
T-Rex
cleared by
couple,
the D-Rex.
Ironically enough, show substantially better pack coordination
Okay.
than the raptors.
So we do have the
Roughly
couple.
same
Forgot about
size as
that.
Rexy was, they still don't have the sheer mass to bring the mutant down easily. That said, though, numbers and agility might help them in a confrontation.
Oh, is that Buck
If
and
they
Doe?
can avoid getting grabbed, the Doe could distract
Yeah,
the
yeah,
mutant
yeah.
as the Buck circles around and goes for the legs and tail. then switching back and forth depending on which one the cumbersome Doomsday Bringer targets. It would be death by 1,000 bites, and one slip-up could spell disaster.
I think the D-Rex is still strong enough and big enough to defeat both of them.
At least a few others on the island. Encountering this mutant might spur them to stick together for safety and increase their own chances in a fight.
Yeah.
One tyrant lizard king might not triumph, but a kingdom might. Given these circumstances, this might be one of those cases where they might just stay out of each other's way.
So he survives anyways. Here we go.
Flashing forward
Here's my time.
to the same island, and the D-Rex could wind up confronted against the biggest carnivore in the...
Now, I do want to say, I'm not saying that Jurassic Park 3 is my favorite Jurassic movie, but I am saying that this is my favorite dinosaur from the Jurassic series. The Spinosaurus, I love the way he looked. I love how dangerous they made him look. I love this Spinosaurus, so I'm just saying that.
Up to that point,
Spinosaurus is my favorite dino anyways.
Was a formidable opponent and might just be
Look how
aggressive enough
nice.
to take this intruding newcomer as a challenge.
Not in the game.
After all, it was already set off and specifically went looking for fights at the smell of Tyrannosaur's scent. So, with the D-Rex probably being mostly Tyrannosaur itself, a clash between the two could be inevitable.
Makes sense.
But this is where the sailback's luck runs out. In its
Yeah,
fight against the bull
unfortunately.
Tyrannosaur,
I knew
the
this was gonna
Spino
happen.
leveraged its size and reach to its best advantage, shrugging off hits from the smaller predator to grapple its head and neck. From there, it was mostly making use of its own brute strength, height, and weight advantage to snap the neck. Three things the Spino is not going to have fighting an opponent much heavier and
it's not going to
taller
happen
than
there.
it is.
Look at that neck.
Trying to target the head with a neck snap could still work, and a fight in the water might help swing the odds.
Yes,
But
the water.
there without getting grappled or crushed would be a Herculean close to impossible task. There is, however, another predator from the third movie that might stand a chance. One who, in an earlier script of the third movie, was going to bring about the end for the Spinosaurus with brains over brawn. The Raptor pack in Jurassic Park 3 that made their nest near the embryonic
Raptor
compound
pack.
were distinctly different from every other raptor
Ghost?
in the franchise. Led by their matriarch, this pack showed far better coordination and communication than just about every other pack in the franchise. And with intelligence,
Those
rivaled
raptors
by
look so
few,
cool
like
to me.
the Atrociraptors
We got
in
to see them
Chaos
for
Theory.
2 seconds
Just 4
in Rebirth.
or 5 raptors wouldn't be nearly enough to bring down the rampaging mutation.
Nah.
But given the number of nests we saw, the true size of this pack might be measured in the dozens. And if all of them attacked in careful maneuvers, that might be enough for numbers to overcome even the D-Rex's size.
I'll give them that.
Being more than smart enough to jump on the back where the mutant wouldn't be able to easily reach, or
If there was
go
like
for the
20,
flanks and tail outside of grabbing or biting range.
then all right.
This pack might be able to pull it off over a very long time, making this creature succumb to blood loss. That's if the raptors are down with downing their own population at taking this D-Rex out.
Yeah, because a lot of them are
Number
going to die
4,
before
Jurassic
D-Rex
World.
dies.
A clash of hybrid versus
Here we go.
mutant. If the D-Rex found itself on Isla Nublar in the 2010s, it might well wind up crossing paths with the Indominus Rex amidst its rampage. And in a clash between one of the first creatures in the series to be called a monster and...
I don't know if you guys know this or not. If you're following the Kaiju Capi channel, we actually did a video with 100 Indominus Rexes versus 100 D-Rexes. Probably going to go how it's about to go, but I'm not going to give it away if you want to go watch that video, Kaiju Capi.
Title, only one monster could remain standing.
So we already know who's going to win
this.
this.
Came to blows. This would be a battle of raw force versus raw abilities. The
Indominus Rex does have crazy abilities.
Opponents before, but now she is up against one far more well-armed
The
than any
camo,
of the
she's
other
smart.
gentle giants on the island. In the battle against Rexy, despite having a height and weight advantage, it took the Indominus a while to get control of the fight, and some timely distraction by Blue left her getting ragdolled by the irate Tyrannosaurus. She absolutely was stronger than the older Rexy at the time.
She was,
but
for sure.
Inexperience might
She
be
got
something
jumped,
of a
though.
handicap. In a one-on-one confrontation, the Indominus would have her best chance using her camouflage to get a first strike, trying to circle around and go for the legs to cut the towering Colossus's foundations out from under it by damaging the tendons and muscle. But with the D-Rex having 4
There's a
limbs
lot
to
of that,
act
by the way.
as a foundation, this wouldn't be as easy as if she was fighting a biped. It's also notable that her camouflage ability would be largely limited to this initial ambush. Camouflaging animals like the cuttlefish she got the genes from can't instantly change on the fly when moving. This isn't the active camo from the Predator we're talking about. It takes a moment for the skin to adjust. And in the midst of a fight that she can't afford to get grabbed on, the Indominus would have a very hard time getting that moment after the first
I just feel like the
strike.
D-Rex is
If
so
she kept
meaty,
committing
bro.
to the battle, it's probable that the mutant could get a hold of and crush the life out of the hybrid. Instead, brains would help the Indominus more than brawn. If she played her cards right
That's
and
facts.
got every theropod she might have tried to communicate with, like the Raptor squad,
Yep.
Toro, and Rexy to join forces,
That's
a
true.
coalition of predators might be able to hold their own against the rampaging.
I actually like this fight a lot. I think this little pack right here would definitely, I'm going to say definitely win. The 4 Raptors could kind of go in, distract a little bit, even get some bites off. Toro, we got the T-Rex, we got Indom. Come on now. I'm pretty sure this squad's winning.
Mutant. Alternatively, the Distortus, being ever curious and not the most overly aggressive creature, might open up an avenue for the Indominus to win by not fighting. If those two started communicating and the Distorted King was actually curious enough
communicate.
to listen, everyone on the island would have a substantially worse outcome if
They'd be
those
cooked.
two teamed up. If there was anything we learned in the movie and in the tie-in series Camp Cretaceous, it's that this Indom can be diplomatic at times.
Could you
Had it
imagine
not
if the
been for
Indom
Rexy
teamed up with
attacking
D-Rex?
first, the Indom would have probably taken the opportunity to make Rexy her next valuable ally. Number 5.
All right.
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom, we got the
Dropping this
Indoraptor.
monstrous mutation right outside the Lockwood Manor after the initial breakout would prove disaster for anyone and anything.
Such a beast of a
involved.
dinosaur.
With the dinosaurs on Isla Sorna forgotten by the scriptwriters to be MIA, the only creatures are those from Nublar, all caged, sickly, and emaciated, with the only released animals being a Stygimoloch that's going to have the common sense to book
Stiggy.
it out of there, and Blue, who probably doesn't want anything to do with this fight. That just leaves him. The Indoraptor does have impressive durability, but stopping about 1,000 foot-pounds behind a rifle bullet is one thing. Stopping the crunching force of a supersized
I mean, look at the
mutant Rex
size
shoot
of that
into the
thing,
cockpit
bro.
of a helicopter is a whole different matter.
It's so crazy.
The Indoraptor might just be crazed enough to engage the D-Rex, jumping onto its back from the rooftops like something out of Attack on Titan to claw and bite anything.
I mean,
it
he's
can
gonna do
reach.
some damage.
But
Don't get it
staying
twisted,
on
but-
something thrashing around like that with no help would be an impossible feat.
That fight
It
would be quick.
Inevitably get grabbed or shaken off, and its armored skin is not going to stop it from just getting crushed right through it. The best shot the heroes might have
Yeah.
is for Maisie to open up that gate at just the right time and hopefully see how well the mutant stands up to a full stampede crashing into it.
Just get every dinosaur to run it over.
If there was
The Giga.
anything that might derail the fated Clash of Titans matchup between Rexy and Biosyn's Giga, it's this, the Tower of Power showing up. As one of the most powerful
Tower of
theropods
Power?
in the franchise up to that point, the Giganotosaurus is probably one of the best to potentially take on the mutation. Young, in good health.
I would say,
and
yeah,
the
it's
heavily
probably the
serrated
best
teeth of
chance
this
that they have.
gigantic Carnosaur would probably be the best weapons to try and cut down the Colossus. After all, its genetic forebearers used more or less similar teeth to whittle away at animals a lot
I still don't
bigger
think it's
than
a
the
chance.
T-Rex. But this is
Just saying.
still a fight against an opponent the Giga would have no context for. And even with how large Biosyn's scarred champion is, it now finds itself against an opponent it can't easily outmuscle.
Definitely
One-on-one,
not.
It would be a bloody affair, but the mutation might have enough raw
Therizino
force to
could be in it,
overpower
though.
and
Also, the
crush life
T-Rex.
out
That
of
would
the
be-
Giga. Ironically enough, the Carnosaur's best chance relies on another foe. As the old saying goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly.
And if
There we go.
Rexy's near legendary aggression kicks in and she joins in.
Bro, okay. Rexy, Therizino, and the Giganotosaurus. I'm probably going with that team over the D-Rex. Let me know where you all would be, but I feel like that would be the team to win.
Less to help
If
the Giga
anyone.
and
Look
more
at that.
just to attack the mutant too.
That's a
that
squad.
Might help tilt the odds. Especially if a certain cantankerous Longclaw also joins in, should the Therizinosaurs be close
Yeah.
enough to get provoked.
Therizino
So,
would come in.
Can
And
Distortus Rex survive the previous outings? The
Most
answer
of
is
them,
highly
yes.
dependent on how this animal behaves. All the creatures that we have previously mentioned that could spell doom for the Distortus have a potentially equal or more dangerous counterpart in St. Hubert. The JP3 Raptors that could bring down the D-Rex in sheer numbers had their Hubert cousins dominated in Rebirth by a
Hubert?
single Mutadon. The new T-Rex is implied to be
I
more
wanted to
dangerous
see how
than any
big
other
that is with the
we've seen
T-Rex.
previously, and the fact that 5 Spinosaurus and their big buddy Mosa still haven't crossed paths with the D-Rex lays bare the fact that this guy can behave and stay out of unnecessary trouble.
Yeah, so he's not
the
dumb.
final verdict is that D-Rex could survive the previous outings, but time will tell if the Distorted King will run out of luck.
Time
in the
will
future.
tell. He's got a future, I think. So let me know where you guys stand. Is there any movie that you think the D-Rex would lose in? Right now, to me, Dominion would definitely be a movie if they all ganged up on him. Obviously, he would lose. Other than that, though, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching with me. I love y'all. Goodbye.